Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Myra Tatum Saucedo with University of Texas Permian Basin, and I am reviewing everybody's drafts, paper drafts, and I've run into a lot of problems. Uh, so it's really slowed me down on getting feedback out. Uh, People are still unfamiliar with Modern Language Association MLA style formatting. I'm getting papers with no headings, no titles. A good title for your paper is not paper one or paper two. Uh, Try to put something in there that catches the reader's attention for a title. Um, Try to have a verb in it, maybe. I can send some sample titles out. Uh, I am going to be sending around websites where you can find free works, full text. You would be able to Google full text Daisy Miller and get just the text, the written work um, that Henry James wrote. And uh, then when you quote from Daisy Miller, it's James, the author, that goes in parentheses, space, page number, in parentheses. That's it. Same thing with Kate Chopin. Uh, if you're writing about the awakening, then you would use Chopin in parentheses and the page number, and that's it. And what I've run up against is I did not figure this out. Is like a thunderbolt, and I finally figured out why people are using what are known as highly plagiarized websites. Uh, any website that has a summary, the plot, the characters, uh, like Spark Notes, Course Hero, uh, Ask Jeeves, About.com, encyclopedias. You should not be using these as your sources. Your sources, I had hoped, were coming from the textbooks, the Norton textbooks, because when you quote the editor, Levine, he wrote the introductions and the footnotes. So when you quote Levine, when you're writing about the background of an author who's died, obviously the author's not writing that, yes, I died in such and such time. So that would be the editor. And then you would quote Levine. And when you're quoting the actual story, then you're quoting the person who wrote those words, not the character, uh, not the textbook. Uh, and what has happened? The thunderbolt that happened to me is I realized students a lot did not get the textbooks. This is not anybody's fault. I've been looking on Amazon and different places, and it's going out of print. It's the ninth edition, and there's a new 10th edition now, so they're starting to cut back on printing the ninth edition. They're terribly expensive. I am going to be teaching the 10th edition, but I'm going to try to find a way to see if we can get a lot of these works for free. I hate to see how expensive these books are, and it's usually due to copyright fees uh, to include some people in the textbooks. So some people have thought by going to SparkNotes and getting a whole summary of the book, it's the same thing as reading uh, Daisy Miller, The Awakening, Roman Fever, Walt Whitman. It's not. It's not. You're not reading their words. And I figured that out going through several pages that where people cited the Spark Notes. And I'm like, if you're going to use a website that's academically dishonest, why would you cite it? And that tells me it's because your usage of it was unintentional because you did not know. Uh, Generally, papers with SparkNotes or essay.com, uh, papers go to the dean for disciplinary action. But I think it is perfectly unintentional that nobody would have copy from these sites and then put them in the works cited. Which brings me to another thing. It's a real red flag when there's no in-text citations and page numbers in the entire paper. It tells me you got this information somewhere, but you're not saying where. You need to cite the sources, and page numbers are what professors are looking for so that they can go check if they think something is misquoted or something. You can go check on that page number. And I can tell from some of the papers the students did not read the works at all. You relied on summaries because there's some mistakes in the summaries. There's some things that are not uh, in Roman fever that people wrote about. And it's like, where did this come from? Uh, it's dense reading. It's not easy reading. It's not, you need to take the time to do it. And I regret that I got behind on feedback because I was trying to teach 3 classes in one. Some people had no idea of MLA style coming into the course, and it's sophomore level. And, uh, it makes me wonder who taught 1301 and 1302 that you took from and did not address these things, which you're supposed to, is a given that you already know these things coming into sophomore literature. But it's not a given anymore because some students transfer uh, from different schools, come from international students from out of the country, and they did not take the equivalents. They did not learn modern language association at all. And so I'm trying to work with everybody where they're at. It's been a slow process, but I have dual credit grades due tomorrow. So I am going to be leaving out uh, pretty much the draft of the first paper because some people would have zeros, and I'm going to take those out and take into consideration that I did not keep up enough, and I did not realize what was happening till this late in the game, that people just don't have the textbooks, and that's really rough. So I'm going to start sending free uh, places to read books online, uh, largely Gutenberg Press, things that are out of copyright. They're free, but not everything I will be able to find for free. But I will try to do that so you don't use SparkNotes. Please, please don't use SparkNotes. It does the thinking for you. It summarizes and analyzes and does all that as it goes along, and then you don't have to read the work and you don't have to really think that hard about it. And actually, your perspectives would be fresh perspectives and might be better, usually are better than some of the websites that you're getting things from. And it's a crime. Course Hero has paid students to send them my prompts, and you could write an essay from just about anything that I give you a prompt for because somebody has sold it to what teachers call cheating websites. So it's academic dishonesty, plagiarism, whatever. So please think for yourself. I am going to extend due dates to the last minute so people can revise papers. I am going to just forget that SparkNotes happened, and I did not realize so many students did not have books. And we need to rethink this course and try to find more free work and not have such high priced textbooks. It's not good. But other than that, people are doing great. And I'm grading today as fast as I can. I've read things over and over, trying to say, where's this coming from? And now I just got to go in there and give you the feedback and let you revise totally uh, accept a revision with no concerns about the draft that you sent in for the final draft. So yeah, I will be opening that box. If you've already got a grade and it's great, don't worry about it. But I'm just going to open it for the whole class, and I'm going to send you a sample of a good student paper also, uh, and a handout on websites not to use. It also tells you websites you can use. You can never fail. Uh, you can't go wrong using the UTPB online databases um, for scholarly background and works. Don't go to Encyclopedia Britannica, uh, the History Channel. It's largely entertainment, not always factual. A&E, no. You can refer to some TED Talks, academic TED Talks on YouTube. Uh, but for the most part, you should be reading the actual works. And I will see you at the next video.